going on, guys? And I'm going to tell you about aversion, one of the four square propositions in logic. Aversion is a type of immediate interference in which from a given proposition another proposition is inferred whose subject is the same as the original subject, whose predicate is the conjunctory of the original predicate, whose quality is affirmative if the original proposition's quality was negative and vice versa. The quality of inferred categorical proposition is changed, but the truth value is the same to the original proposition. The immediately inferred proposition is termed the obverse of the original proposition and is an invalid form of interference for all types AEIO of categorical propositions. In universal affirmative and the universal negative proposition, the subject term and the predicate term are both replace their components. In universal affirmative and the universal negative proposition, subject term and predicate term are both replaced by their complements. The universal affirmative A proposition is averted to a universal negative, it's E proposition. All S are P and no S are none P. All cats are animals and no cats are non-animals. These are the examples of the universal affirmative that is averted to a universal negative. So we gotta go next into the universal negative is averted to a universal affirmative. That's vice versa. No subject are predicate and all subject are non-predicate. No cats are friendly and all cats are non-friendly. So that's the example of the vice versa of the universal negative is averted to universal affirmative. In the particular affirmative, the quantity of the subject term remains unchanged. The predicate term of inferred proposition negates the complement of the predicate term of the original proposition. The particular affirmative is averted to a particular negative, so that's I proposition averted to the O proposition. Some S are P and some S are non-P. So this is the example. Some animals are friendly creatures and some animals are not friendly creatures. In the aversion of a particular negative to a particular affirmative, the quantity of the subject is also remains unchanged, and the predicate term is changed from simple negation to a term of complementary class. The particular negative O proposition is averted to particular negative. That's O proposition is averted to the I proposition, or vice versa. Some S are not P, and some S are non-P. So here's what the example. Some animals are not friendly creatures, and some animals are unfriendly creatures. Note, the truth value of an original statement is preserved in its resulting the obverse form. Because of this, aversion can be used to determine the immediate interferences of all categorical propositions, regardless of quality or quantity. In addition, aversion allows us to navigate through the traditional square of logical proposition by a means to proceed from A propositions to E propositions, as well as from I propositions to O propositions, or vice versa. However, although the resulting propositions from aversion are logically equivalent to the original statements in terms of truth value, they're not semantically equal to the original statements in their standard form. And that's it for me. Let you guys know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe if you're new.
Is your boy Jack, and I will explain about the full form of inversion. But first, let me give a brief explanation of inversion, so then we'll make everything clear, okay? So in logic, an inverse is a type of conditional sentence which is considered as an immediate inference made out of another sentence. Thus, it means that P is Q will mean not P is not Q once inversion is applied. So it's like turning both positives to both negatives. Okay? So if you're quite confused about that, let's go ahead and explain this further. Okay, so when applying full inversion, the subject becomes a contradictory of the original, and at the same time, the predicate also becomes contradictory to the original. Hence the word full, since two parts of the sentence were inverted, all of it. Okay, so that's what makes it different from partial inversion, so then you won't get confused again. But if you're still confused, just remember that full inversion also switches the subject to predicate and vice versa. Thus, the quality of the sentence will remain the same, no matter how much everything was changed within the sentences, okay? Now, if you're still quite confused, don't worry, so I will explain more about it, okay? So, to provide a clear example, let's use the sentence, if I am in Paris, then I am at the Eiffel Tower, even though I'm not in Paris. So, as you can see, that sentence is very basic and excellent sentence to invert logically. So, if I'm in Paris, then I am in the Eiffel Tower. So, let's go ahead and apply inversion for that. So, once you do it, the sentence will turn into, if I am not at the Eiffel Tower, then I am not in Paris. So, as you can see, full version was applied to that sentence. And what happened is the subject becomes the predicate and the predicate becomes the subject, as I explained earlier minutes ago. So, what also happened is the P is Q becomes not P is not Q. That's why if I am in Paris became then I am not in Paris. So basically, if you check out that example, if I am in Paris, then I am in the Eiffel Tower becomes, if I am not in the Eiffel Tower, then I am not in Paris. So as you can see, the quality is still the same, although everything got inverted, since it's full inversion in the first place, right? Okay, so I guess that makes everything clear, and I do hope that you learned a lot about full inversion in this short video of mine. So happy learning, and God bless us all, okay? So this is your boy Jack, signing out.
Hi, my name is Clark Tuazon, and I'm gonna explain what partial inversion is. So partial inversion is where a verb and auxiliary verb are inverted. Example, I've never seen such an awful behavior. Never have I seen such an awful behavior. The auxiliary verb is have, and you can see that it and the subject I are inverted. However, the main verb seen does not move. It is still after the subject and auxiliary verb. So the inversion is
Conversion is stating the truth of the proposition by interchanging the subject and the predicate without overextending the original proposition of the quantity of either of the terms. The original proposition to be converted is called the convertent, while the resulting statement is called the converse. So here's the example of a convertent. Some government officials are thieves. So once it is converted into converse, it will become some thieves are government officials.
Hello, my name is Ivy Pearl A.L. Forte. As what my classmate Jerica said, conversion or traditional logic interchanging the subject and the predicate of a categorical proposition or statement. So there are rules to remind in order to understand conversion. Number 1, interchange the subject and the predicate. Number 2, retain the quality of the proposition, and lastly, do not extend the term. That is, a particular term cannot be a reversal term. There are two kinds of conversion. Number one is simple conversion, and number two is limited conversion. So these are the examples of simple conversion. Number one, no flowers are fruits. No fruits are flowers. Number two, some animals are mammals. Some mammals are animals. So as you can see, these two are the examples of limited conversion. Number one, all men are mortal, and when you convert it, it will be some mortal beings are men. Number two example is no alien are voters. Some voters are not alien. Simple converses are logically equivalent to their convertents. Limited converses have their truth value determined through the law of subalteration. Thus, if the converted is true, the converse is true. If the converse is false, then the converse is doubtful.